Hi, folks. This is Chris Seidel with the Martha's Vineyard Commission. I'm just going to do a brief how-to using ArcPro, explaining how to load data from ArcGIS Online into ArcPro. So ArcPro is already open. If you have ArcPro on your computer, then you already have an ArcGIS Online account. So what you want to do is make sure that you have a map already open. If you don't, just go to Insert and then New Map. Also, make sure you have the catalog pane open. And if it isn't, just go to View and click on Catalog pane. To load data from ArcGIS Online, within the catalog pane, click on Portal, and then we get all these different clouds. So these first 4 clouds from left to right are all within your organization's ArcGIS Online account. There's your content, any favorites that you've established, any groups that you belong to in ArcGIS Online, again, within your organization. Then there's also the content within the entire organization that has been shared with everyone in that organization. So you can choose whichever one of these clouds you want. So for example, I'll just go into my organization and look for, let's see, we'll do Dukes County open space. And I get a lot of data returned. So it's very important that you take the time, if you hover the mouse over the item, you can see the person who created it. MV Dukes happens to be my username. And then there's also a path that leads you to information about that data source. So here, if we're at Dukes County Conservation Open Space, and if I clicked on this link, it brings me to the description page about that data. I always highly recommend learning about the data before you use it, just so you know everything about it. So if I wanted to bring this into my map, you simply can drag and drop onto the map, and that data will load. This one here happens to have a bunch of, it's sort of a bundle. So even though I only dragged over one feature layer, within that feature layer, there's, sort of all these broken out components. Now then, so that's sort of searching my organization. There is an option to filter any of the data before you do a search. And this is really a great thing to do because there's so many different types of items that get created in ArcGIS Online. There's maps and these scenes and tools, and it can get confusing. So really, if you're interested in data, for a first pass, just filter it for layers. So that might help you sort of weed through what you're looking for. This next cloud is the ArcGIS Online cloud, and this is the entire ArcGIS Online community. So here, again, when you're doing a search, I'd recommend searching for layers. And here in Massachusetts, since we have the great resource of MassGIS, I'd preface anything with MassGIS. And then let's say we're looking for the latest biomap created by natural heritage and the Nature Conservancy. So you'll see here, even though I filtered it for what they refer to as layers, even within that, you still get some variation. And you can sort of tell from this little icon, sort of the yellow polygon with the red point of interest mark. Those represent feature layers. And with those, basically, you have the most flexibility with that type of data set. So if I load in this one, biomap core habitat, components source, it's Mass GIS. Over here in the details, it's coming from the state. And again, I'd recommend taking the time to click on this link and learn about the data. But again, if you want to bring it in, you can drag and drop, or you can right click and do add to current map. And here's another one. It's sort of a bundle of information. So then we can just click on that and see all that data. And all of this is just being pulled in from the cloud. For comparison, there's this other type of data set, and this is a map image layer. And, here again, if you know who this owner is and you know that their work is reputable, and I happen to agree that this person's work is, you just right click on it and add this in, and for some reason it failed to load. That happens. Anyhow, you can certainly find another one here. We could try this one from the same person. We add this to the map, and that's not loading. Anyhow, the point is, with these map image layers, it sort of comes in as like a georeferenced picture. And you may not have the flexibility to change the colors, or if you click on the item, you may or may not get a pop-up with more information about that area. So the type of data you load in is, dependent upon how you need to interact with that data. So here, again, keeping Mass GIS as our prefix, we go looking for parcels. We get this awesome data source that has parcels for the entire state of Massachusetts. And since this is a feature layer, that's the sort of thing where you could specify a definition query, so that you can restrict which data is displayed. Since I mentioned it, to do a definition query, if you right click on a layer and go to properties and then do the definition query, then you can set up sort of a filter. And often with the parcels, if you just filter it by town ID, that's quite handy. So I think for the basics of just how to get data from ArcGIS Online into ArcPro, I think we've kind of covered it. There is this awesome other cloud called the Living Atlas. You can get lost in there for days. It's sort of big data that's already been compiled together and synthesized. And it's coming, a lot of it's put together by ESRI. Some of it is put together by other, just local GIS people who, believe that their data is very authoritative, and they've added it to the Living Atlas. And, certainly if you have the time, go and explore. All right, hope this is helpful. Enjoy.